Hello and welcome to InVision Irving, your business connection. We're inside the headquarters of the Greater Irving Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce. We have a lot to show you today, including our special focus, crafting a profit, a business boom from beads, bangles, scrapbooks, and stencils. Plus, I get a tour of the school where the mechanics of tomorrow are being trained. That and more coming up. But first, you probably know that Irving is home to 5 Fortune 500 companies. But it is small businesses that are often considered the backbone of a community. I attended a forum that offered tips for small business owners, and it attracted some big names. Like most small business owners, Angie Franco puts in long hours at work. The Encanto Cake Shop in Heritage Crossing is her baby, her lifelong dream. Angie doesn't miss a day at work for just anything. But on this day, Angie found it well worth her while to step away from the bakery for this event at the Irving Convention Center. It's the Governor's Small Business Forum and Expo, sponsored in part by the Greater Irving Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce.
This is an opportunity for all of our small businesses across North Texas to be able to get some really world-class training in a one-day environment.
The event was a day of training, networking, and brainstorming for small business owners, a segment of the economy business leaders say is a force to be reckoned with.
From a business perspective, small business is where the growth is. It's where people are being employed, and they're the ones that actually will evolve the economy.
The highlight of the event? Keynote guest, baseball legend Nolan Ryan. The CEO and president of the Texas Rangers inspired the crowd with tales of how he transitioned from the big leagues to small business.
I went home in the off season with the mindset that I needed to get involved in the community, get involved in other activities. We started a bank, and I was on a board in a bank there in Alvin, and tried to learn the banking business, and I got into the cattle business. It was a passion of mine my whole life, and tried to develop and learn that business. I went to took continuing education classes and just did things in the off season to try to prepare myself for what I was going to do outside of baseball.
Not only lunch with a legend, it was an afternoon for small business owners to exchange business cards and exchange ideas on how to take advantage of the blue economic skies many predict are ahead.
I think 2009, 2010 was really tough. We're seeing phenomenal business numbers in 2011 for small businesses. They figured it out, they found new markets, they have found new clients, and they're now starting to hire, and I think it's really optimistic, particularly for North Texas, where we clearly weren't as affected as badly as other parts of the country.
Not a bad way for a small business owner to spend an afternoon away from the office. You don't have to look far to find successful small businesses. Thomas Gandy heard from a couple with 2 new, very different ventures here in Irving.
Sure, you've seen ribbon cuttings before. But it's not often that you see the same person at the center of 2.
This is, second ribbon cutting in the past 30 days.
We first met Carrie Albert at the new Schlotzsky's in Las Colinas, which he owns with his wife, Jacqueline.
We are the largest franchisee now with the opening of the Las Colinas location. We had 7, this makes number 8, and there's no one else in the system that has 8 stores.
When we stopped by, business was already off to a strong start.
We believe this location could possibly build to our #1 site in all of Dallas-Fort Worth.
They believe one of the big draws is the bread, and we got a look at how it is made.
This is the secret of Schlotzsky's that no one really gets to know about. It's made from scratch. They're rising right now, so it's in a proofer. When they hit about the top of the pan, they will go into the oven. They start the process here, goes through the oven, only in the oven for a minute, and then it's exited and dressed at the other end and then served to the customer. But this location also is the first one to get plateware. In the past, it's been a picnic basket and paper kind of concept. This is the first store that's been introduced with the plateware.
How is it?
Awesome. Very, very good.
And the food is such a great quality, we need to be able to showcase it better.
The restaurant also offers pizza and Cinnabons.
You know, it's an awesome product, so we're just happy to be in town.
Albert's other business is very different. It's called Measurement Assurance Technology, and it moved here to Irving from Carrollton.
Any of the test equipment they use in the manufacturing process or engineering process, we can certify it calibrated here.
The new facility, offering sales, service, leasing, and more, is about twice the size of its former location, and Albert says location was one of the big selling points of doing business in Irving.
We can get to any place, anywhere very quick. Our customers can find us very quickly. We do a lot of service work.
He says he has gotten support from both the City of Irving and the Chamber of Commerce in opening his businesses here.
They're excited about what's going on in Irving. We're excited with what's going on in Irving, and I think it's going to be a great sounding board and a good platform for us to basically continue our expansion as a company.
Even though the businesses are very different, they do come together sometimes, like when it's time for refreshments.
And we've got Schlotzsky's.
Imagine that.
With a bigger building for measurement assurance technology and a brand new Schlotzsky's, the Alberts are excited about what is ahead for them in Irving.
Making one of our dreams become a reality.
Thomas Gandy for InVision Irving.
Now to our special focus, crafting a profit. Irving is seeing a boom in craft stores driven directly by requests from residents. Ashley Roberts covered the grand opening of the new flagship store for Michaels.
Drum roll, please.
The moment has arrived. And now the celebration begins. At last, the first ever Michaels retail store in Irving is open for business.
As you can tell, everybody's very excited about it.
Everybody is in line waiting to come in.
I think it's amazing. Wow. The marching band, and I just it didn't dawn on me that it was going to be so many people.
Hundreds of eager shoppers are now in their glory, searching for the right items to complete their craft projects.
What are you trying to make? My girls want to make a charm bracelet.
I'm working on some Disney scrapbook pages.
Right now I'm going to make a little craft, some bra straps with these beads.
It is a place where creativity is overflowing.
With diamonds and bezels.
A store Mayor Beth Van Dyne says Irving residents have wanted for years.
We have been inundated with requests from our citizens for an arts and crafts store. When we talk about retail stores, that has been the #1 request.
And because of that, Irving City Council has been working hard to bring this store to life.
We've worked with the Chamber and we've worked with the executives at Michaels to open up this fantastic store. We could not be more excited that they're here.
Michaels headquarters has been located in Irving for decades, so opening a flagship retail store seemed to be a perfect fit.
It's been very exciting to try and get a store right in our hometown, which the company is very excited about. It's our new flagship store, new designs, everything's very exciting to be here. The city has welcomed us with open arms.
This Michaels boasts a brand new store design with many innovative and inspiring products. City Council tells us they hope to open many more high-quality stores such as this one in the near future.
So we're going to look at what are our streets, what does our infrastructure look like, where do we currently have housing, residents, what do we have retail, where do we have opportunities to bring in additional retail.
Mayor Van Dyne says it is important to attract more high-quality retail stores.
Because at the end of the day, our businesses are really a great commodity to the city.
And most of these shoppers agree. This new store, located on MacArthur Boulevard, puts convenience in their lives.
So I can come here instead of having to go all the way to Dallas or, Grapevine or, South Lake to get my supplies.
We're actually from Dallas, but we've got a friend who lives about maybe 3 miles from here. So we're up here all the time.
And the great deals are also enticing.
These are 60% off, so that's really good. And these are $1.99 here.
And with discounts like that, Samantha Alonzo says she will definitely be a regular shopper.
Weekly? Weekly, definitely.
With much to choose from, including more than 3,000 scrapbooking accessories, 6,000 different styles of pre-strung and pre-packaged jewelry options, and a kids department designed to bring out the creativity and any little imagination, the new Irving Michaels is a crafter's paradise.
You know, it seems like everybody has a need for crafts, much more so than we think about in our everyday life.
And now the doors are open to meet the needs of all arts and crafts shoppers. And for most, it's now just a hop, skip, and a jump away. Ashley Roberts for InVision Irving.
In South Irving, Angels and More celebrated the opening of its new location. The additional space allows the store to expand what it offers. Along with gifts, shoppers can now find fabric and other sewing supplies there. After deciding to move, the owner considered all sections of Irving and says Heritage Crossing is the right place for her business.
We are doing a great business here and love what we're doing in our neighborhood. I love the Heritage District. It's a lot of fun.
Angels and More has been operating in Irving for about 35 years. Googly Eyes on Airport Freeway is another option for crafters, and Meg Mueller's the owner. She joins us now to tell us about the store and about some trends in crafting. We'll get to all that in just a minute, but let me begin with Googly Eyes itself. How'd you get started, and tell us about it?
We got started back in 2005. We first opened in the back of Mugshot's coffee shop, and we were there until they closed, and then it was a couple of years later until we were able to open up our first retail shop next door to Fiesta. And 2 years ago we moved to a new location at Story and 183. We keep expanding and seeing lots of crafters come through our doors.
Let's take a look at some of the things you brought for us and kind of get our creativity juices flowing and show us some of the craft ideas you have.
Okay, well, Christmas is coming, so what we did is we brought some ideas that we call it scrap lifting, looking through magazines, finding different ideas. So these are brand new ideas that came from a well-known magazine.
Scrap lifting, I like that.
Yes, we do too. Just a simple styrofoam ring with yarn and felt, just very simple.
Yarn, isn't it?
Very simple and inexpensive materials. Each of these little characters were hand sewn, again with felt. You could substitute googly eyes if you wanted to, and this pine cone was made also with felt and a skewer and some glitter.
You make it sound so easy. I could find a way to mess this up.
Oh, I don't know about that. We can help you with that.
What do we have here in the middle?
The next thing is these are the 6 tags of Texmas. This stamp company is out of Central Texas.
How cute.
He does lots of really wonderful things and just lots of ideas, and he focuses on Texas stamps, Texas themed stamps. He uses lots of glitter, and these are some classes that we're teaching in the shop also. So you can come in and we can show you how to do this. I like this one with Santa riding the cow.
So these, you could use these as gift tags, right?
You can use them as gift tags, you can put them on cards, you can use them, string them up on your mantle as decorations, lots of different things.
What are some other ideas for stamps? I know that I would just end up running out of ideas. I would just stamp it and say, oh, isn't that neat, and then not know what to do with it.
Lots of people make cards. You can use it on scrapbooking, tags. We've also stamped it on canvases and stitched around them. Just so many things you can do with stamps.
What do we have down
here?
And
one of the things that's trending and continues to trend is duct tape. And this is a duct tape Christmas tree.
So true. You can get duct tape in any color and many, many designs
yes,
these days, huh?
Absolutely. It's got a paper base, but other than that, it is all duct tape. Yes.
You really can fix anything with duct tape.
And then this doesn't have anything to do with Christmas, but I brought it because Copic markers are really trending, and they've been trending for quite a while. These are art pens that come in 356 colors. Artists, card makers, they just absolutely love them. And you
What's so special about them?
The colors, the intensity, the way you can blend them. What's special about the Copics is that they have 2 tips like you're seeing, so they can be used in different ways. They also are refillable. So once you buy a marker, you've got it for life, unless your child loses it or your dog chews it.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Unless my child gets her hands on it and the cap disappears and then it dries out. What other trends are you seeing in crafting these days?
Well, a lot is being driven by Pinterest.
That's what I imagine. For those who don't know what Pinterest is.
Pinterest is an online bulletin board system, and you can get your own Pinterest account and then search the web if you want and pin things on your account, or you can just search Pinterest.
All kinds of great ideas.
And everything from crafting to places that you'd love to go to recipes.
But especially crafting, I'm sure, ends up through your door.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Meg Mueller with Googly Eyes, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you. Now to some of the economic wins the City of Irving and Chamber of Commerce are celebrating. Connections, a division of UnitedHealth Group, announced it's hiring 800 people as it opens offices in this renovated building near DFW Airport. The company's expanding across the state, but no city is seeing more jobs than Irving. We talked to some of the key people involved about what prompted the selection.
We actually looked across the entire country, and what's most important to us is a great labor force. And as you look about business climate, environment, and labor, Irving came right to the top of the list. So we're excited to be here.
These companies are a very competitive environment. North Texas has many great quality cities, all who are competing for business with these great companies. And so to have a city as cooperative as Irving, who supports the developers and the tenants in this market, it makes a big difference. And being a pro-business city, encourages developers to build more product in the city, encourages tenants to lease more of the buildings that developers build in the city.
They were very impressed with our permitting process and how we really are very expedient in the manner in which we serve them. I mean, enough can't be said with the processes that we have in place and the great work that our folks do in making sure that the permitting process is reduced in terms of time. Anytime that can get reduced and get the businesses in quicker so that the permitting is done and the construction can happen, it just means a great deal, and this is living proof of it. I mean, 800 jobs in this community means a lot.
You can never rest on your laurels. We are always looking for new businesses to bring here. We're always looking to ways that we can expand the companies that we currently have here and to be a better business climate.
We're thrilled to be here, from the mayor's office to the business development chambers. It's just been a terrific location.
The hiring process started just days after that announcement. The next time your check engine light comes on, consider this. The technician who goes under the hood may very well have been trained right here in Irving. Universal Technical Institute, or UTI, is the industry leader when it comes to teaching auto technicians their trade. I recently visited their Irving campus for a tour. Welcome to what could very well be the loudest classroom in North Texas. Welcome to the Irving campus of UTI, a nationwide training ground for the auto technicians of the future, where students like Luis Hernandez of Louisville get the training it takes to turn their passion into their profession, where students like Keith Webb of Little Elm learn the satisfaction of figuring out exactly why your check engine light did come on.
Once you figure it out, you get that aha moment. It's really an adrenaline rush is really what it is, and when you're figuring things out, when you put one and one together and find two, it really it's something simple like that, but it's just that it's an overwhelming feeling, and it makes you feel really good about yourself.
For people that don't like a four-year college or being stuck behind a desk, they actually can go out and make money. They can do what they like to do. I like to get my hands dirty. Like working on engines.
Yeah, that one's a press fit's going to have all the torques.
The campus northeast of DFW is a state-of-the-art facility. UTI offers a 51-week program that is about as hands-on as they come.
The thing I like the most about UTI is the level of interaction that we have with the students. No one else offers that, especially with the hands-on that we do in the lab. And it's really exciting to watch students, go from a lack of understanding to getting the concept and being able to put it into practice.
I think the students really enjoy it. They have a real good sense of accomplishment. You'd be surprised to hear, but we, as instructors, we're just as happy for them as they are. And, sometimes you hate to see them leave.
The Irving location is the newest of 11 UTI campuses nationwide. When the company went scouting for the perfect spot for a new school a few years ago, it didn't take them long to pick Irving.
I think it's a good central location. When we were looking at where we wanted to put a campus, we said we want to make sure we have enough jobs for students to get when they graduate and enough people in an area that we can recruit locally and help them gain employment locally. So DFW, in our opinion, was the best of the best.
When these students graduate, many go straight into jobs UTI helped them find.
and all students leave with new skills that can change their lives.
Classes have flexible start times and an online portion so students can keep working while they go to school. It was the moment that many residents and business people have been waiting to see, the opening of the DART Orange Line.
It's kind of like reaching the summit of a mountaintop that you've been climbing, starting back in 1983 when we voted to join DART, and have been staying the course and making the 1-cent transportation sales tax commitment to it. And now we begin, it's kind of like a farmer who's been planting his crop, and today we're going to now harvest and reap the benefit of the bounty, so to speak, of that hard work.
For now, the Irving Convention Center is the last stop, but in December, it will reach North Lake College and Beltline Road. By December 2014, DFW Airport.
Having that orange line connect Terminal A to downtown Dallas Business District via the Las Colinas portion of Irving will be invaluable. We'll be able to have executives that are housed in the Las Colinas submarket of Irving now be able to catch the orange line and take the orange line all the way out to DFW and back. So they can leave their cars in their parking garages, get on the DART line, the orange line, go to the airport and back. And that is invaluable, not only for existing businesses, but for future businesses as they look at moving to Irving.
DART held several events to celebrate the grand opening. Now, a quick look at some other local businesses celebrating. Our first stop, a newly renovated restaurant.
We fully remodeled the dining room with the remodeled playland as well. We make it more efficient and more convenient for the customers. Irving has always been a great partner, and they will help us through the whole process with the remodeling.
Golftec is an instructional facility, basically for golf. We do also custom fitting, just helping people get better or reaching their goals.
Just keep your hands working down that line. Cool. That's really what it comes down to.
Irving is just growing so fast, and I think as a community, I actually have a lot of clients that actually golf at Las Colinas Country Club, but as in the community, this is a very big area for golf.
Most of us are familiar with those big, heavy, clunky wooden pallets. Of course, they're used to carry heavy material on a forklift. But a product with ties right here in Irving is giving businesses a new option. Tish Troutman is CEO of Pallet Solutions, and Greg Williams is Chief Operating Officer. Thank you both very much for being here.
Thank you.
Tish, let me start with you. What do we have here? Tell us about your product.
Well, it's a corrugated shipping pallet, and basically the exciting thing about it is that we can ship the same goods for less pounds, so we can actually save money in freight. It's a lot of money, and we can do extra amounts of savings in air freight.
Absolutely.
Most specifically, it's expensive.
Greg, the idea for this, where did it come from? How was the company born?
Well, it was in production for almost 10 years to try to develop a pallet made out of basically paper that could handle over 3,500 pounds. So it's taken us quite a while to reach the point of where we are now with all the folds and everything like that. But corrugated pallets have been around for a while, but they've never been able to do what ours are capable of doing with the weight and everything as far as that goes.
Tell me again how much it can hold?
These can hold over 3,000 pounds apiece, and static weight up to almost around 10 to 12,000 pounds.
Without giving away big company secrets, is the secret in the folds, or how do you do that?
The secret is in the folds. As you can see with the way that all these are folded up, it's all the vertical pieces that go into this pallet that give it its strength.
Your company, I understand, Tish, is you're split, New York and here in Irving?
Yes.
Why that, and why Irving?
Well, I've been a friend of Irving forever, and I think everyone here is pretty much family, and that's why we came back to Irving. And of course we live here, so it's our home, and we're also in LA, which is we do a lot of produce on these pallets. So because of perishables, fish, floral, and produce, we are able to move this freight much faster and actually with lighter lighter weight, so we
Wow.
can save money.
Wow, you know, it's not really something you think about as you go to the produce section or as you consume the goods, that these things help move around.
Yes, and what's exciting about this only weighing 10 pounds is that I can carry it around. And so you have guys in the warehouse who are actually having to run and get a forklift, run over, pick it up, load it up, and we can actually store 180 of these in the same amount of space that you would normally store 20 traditional wooden pallets. So wooden pallets have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, and now we have a new product that will change the industry. But it's also an education process. We have to teach and train that these things actually work, number one, and number two, we can save in a lot of other areas, such as fuel savings and workers' compensation. We have many workers' compensation injuries from splinters and nails and hurt backs and things like that. So, you know, I can lift this pallet in a retail location, go pop it in a baler, and then you get recycling revenue from that. So there's a lot of ways to save money, but there's also ways to make money too.
Greg, have you found that that's one of your challenges, to just educate industry and spread the word, not only that the product exists, but that it works?
Well, actually, that's our biggest challenge because you know, they've been making wood pallets since, you know, before Christ was born. So it's like, and they're just used to that, and it's really hard to get people
change their way of thinking. Yeah.
So yeah, so we really do have a structure where we can, you know, analyze what they're spending on wood and their all their other expenses that are associated with that, and then compare it to what we can do for them. As far as I think you mentioned earlier about a fire, these aren't considered fire hazards, so they can actually store these in their warehouses and don't have to store them off-site that OSHA requires. So we can keep them all inside, and everything's, you know, just ready to go at a moment's notice.
Before we go here, either one of you chime in on this. How has the business community and climate here in Irving contributed to the success so far of your company?
Well, I think it goes back to being a part of the Irving Chamber, and they're always so welcoming, and it's like a big family. And anytime that we need anything, it's so nice to be able to call and be pointed in the right direction to what we're trying to accomplish. And at the end of the day, as a CEO, I see a very bigger vision of, you know, I want all of the end product to be cheaper for the consumer. You know, so along that supply chain, it could be taken anywhere. So we really want to get to that right person and help them save the money. And so it's just a very cool, sustainable product that we're no longer putting these in landfills.
Tish Troutman, Greg Williams.
Thank you.
Eco Pallet Solutions, thank you
you
both very much. Time now for our good deed. Every summer we hear the tragic news of a child who dies after being forgotten in a hot car. Well, mothers who give birth at Baylor Medical Center Irving get a bear to help those sometimes overwhelmed and tired new moms remember their child.
Basically, the bear stays on their keys while they're driving, and when they get to the destination, they take the bear off the keychain and they get the baby out of the car seat, and they put the bear back into the base where the baby would be, or the car seat would be, and then when they're done with their errands, they come back and they put the bear back on their keychain, and then they put the baby back in the base, and then the bear will stay with them at all times to help remind them that they have a little one in the back seat.
The bears are called backseat buddies, and they're handed out in new parent education classes. The idea came from the Baylor workforce.
They are always asking what our thoughts are, what our opinions are, how we feel about things, what we see the future of our patient care going. And they're always open-minded and willing to listen to us at all times.
Even if you don't have one of those bears, you can adapt the idea by putting your briefcase or other needed item next to the car seat. Also, the Irving Fire Department offers these Don't Forget the Baby window clings at all fire stations. Thanks for watching this edition of InVision Irving. Remember, you can see updates on upcoming events by visiting irvingchamber.com. I'm Jolene DeVito. We'll see you next time.